Greetings, greetings, greetings. We are in the lab. We're in the lab. And no, we do not have any special people with us tonight. We do not have any special people with us tonight. I'm going to be sitting here having a conversation. The producer asked me what we were going to be doing. I said, we're just going to have conversations. And what happened for me was that we were taking care of some other matters. That's why we could not start until 6:30. But I had wanted to be on here at 6 o'clock so we can engage in this conversation. Because there's a lot that's been happening here, which you all have seen it. We are all excited with regards to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris now being nominated, or to be nominated as President of the United States for the Democratic ticket. And also this wonderful surprise with regards to who will be supporting her. So I have to say this to you all, because I said this to some politicos here today in Savannah, Georgia, and what I said, it does not pertain just to Savannah, Georgia, but it pertains to across the entire country. That what we're talking about right now, we have this excitement for Kamala with regards to her being announced, being supported and endorsed to run for president on the Democratic Party ticket. But the issue is this, as I told them, guess what? There's been this general malaise, this general silence in general with regard to where the people at on the tone and the tenor of the people. That we have seen in the past elections, municipal elections, county elections, we've seen people not turn out to vote. If we think that we do not turn out to vote will basically be God's work, no, it's not. It's man's work. It is your work if you don't turn out to vote. It ain't got nothing to do with God and what happens if we allow some other people to get into office. And you all have heard me go and say, I call the Republican Party the anti-democracy party. The Republican Party is the anti-democracy party. Do I have friends who are Republicans? Yes, I do have friends who are Republicans. Do I have family members who are Republicans? Yes, I do have family members who are Republicans. But I cannot let that sway me with regards to, me not calling them out, because that is an issue. We have seen them continue to infringe upon the rights of people. And for me, it's not, I don't have to get caught up into about Project 25. The 2025. I don't have to get caught up into that. We have seen it throughout, with regards to when they've had the majority in the Senate and also in the House. We've seen it with regard to our state governments. We've seen it regarding our local governments. We have seen the Republican Party basically not be anti-democracy. And they want to continue that and maintain that. But some of us are happy just to be around them, just in the atmosphere of that, as I tell folks, essentially behaving like pets. We are human beings, and that we should not be pets for individuals who are grasping at power and desire power only for themselves and not for the people. Democracy is about the people. We need to support those people who will support us, making sure that democracy stands still. Guess what? As it stands, if you now go out and you decide to support individuals within the Republican Party who've indicated that they will be dictators, guess what? The downfall of America will not be based on a group of people like us, but it'll be based on those individuals right there, and you aided and abetted. Because guess what? When I say us, I meant people like me who are intelligent enough to know better than to go jump in bed with them. But you will be a part of those people who caused the downfall of America. We are on the cusp of right now looking whether democracy will stand. So that's one of the things I want to share with y'all. And that with regards to the Kamala people, I'm just coming over, I had a slight cold. With the Kamala people, as I told some of them, I said, listen, you got to invigorate the people. And when you come into these communities, do not go to traditional people that people throw their names out who are not amongst the people. See, it becomes easy like that. It becomes easy to go to, say, a political, as I say, star, but in some cases, they're not really not stars. That go to someone that people recognize as being a political leader, but do they really have the pulse of the people? Are they able to motivate the people to get out? And if you look at, again, municipal elections, you look at county elections, state elections, excuse me, if you looked at what has happened, we've not seen a turnout. I have individuals who said to me, they said, Jamal, we had a campaign, souls to the polls. And guess what? People did not turn out to even, we provided our church buses for them to go to the polls. They did not turn out. And then they got a Trumpite in office. And so now these people are screaming and hollering the fact that this person is not engaging in policies that's against their best interest. The presidential election will be the same thing. You support Donald Trump and the Trumpites with regard to what they're doing, you will be a part of the downfall of America. I'm putting it out there to you. But to the common people, to the Democrats, I'm like, you got to have some heart and understand you can no longer play the same game, because you will be a part of it also if you do not go to the people who have the pulse of the people, who have the ear of the people, who can help motivate the people. The traditional stuff that you all have done have basically failed. And why I say it's failed? It's failed in the sense that you have people who have been elected to office based on a whim, when the masses of the people have not turned out. So guess what? What I'm projecting right now, if there is no invigoration of the people for them to understand why this is important to them, why this is pertaining to life, as I told people earlier today, this pertains to life, then guess what? You're going to be a part of the downfall of America. Democrats who support the same traditional ways, and guess what? Traditional people who they think are stars but are not workers, guess what? It's going to be the same thing. They come into our communities, and I put it out there to some of them. I say, and I said this with other people today, I say, check this out. That they come in these communities and they dole out monies to, big money to people to serve as coordinators, as representatives. But then guess what? They want the mass of the people to basically not just go and do the work. They just want them to just be caught up into, again, the stardom and do the work. They be volunteers. When you got these other people who don't have ideas, or who have antiquated ideas, who have, again, antiquated ideas, and then the people are the ones who got the ideas can go and tell you what will motivate that person who lives in a public housing development, that person who's basically making minimum wage. What will motivate them to not get out there and understand that they are invested in this country right here, and in this nation, and in this city, and in this town, in this hamlet, in this village, in this county, in this state? They could be the ones that can tell you. Go to the barbershops and talk to the people there, to the cosmetologists, go to the hair salons, go to those people and find out what's going on. Go to those brothers and sisters on the corner, talk to them and find out what needs to be done to motivate people to get out there to vote. Engage them, or talk to the people who have the contact with those people. But what we going to do, we give monies out to somebody just because they are a familiar name, but have no pulse of the people. And what I heard today, discussing with some people here, that you have elected officials, past elected officials, who had said that they want to be chairpersons of the campaigns in certain locales. When I said they were not able to motivate people to get out to vote for a municipal election or for a county election, what do you expect? And then also, adding to this, have you all noticed that not just in Savannah or in Chatham County or in the state of Georgia, but across the country, you have not seen a lot of political forums regarding candidates? It is almost like it is a part of a methodology of some other people who do not want to see democracy to happen. And I tell folks, guess what? You're not doing anything to get the people excited. And I'm not saying that it's about excitement. Well, I'm talking about the excitement means that informing them so they now understand, they are educated, and so they're excited to get out there to now vote. They are informed and they are excited to get out there to vote. But guess what? We across the country are now being lulled to sleep for us not to vote, not to ensure our rights are going to not be impacted. And so that's why I'm going to say it is a tactic. I'm not about conspiracy theories and all other stuff like that. All I do is just look at it and say, yo, check this out. That's not just here. I've heard other people saying other locations around the country we have not had forms for candidates, and people are supposed to go out to vote, and then now you're going to see these low voter turnouts. Guess what? We need the people invigorated, and what I'm saying invigorated means educated and informed as to why this is basically about life and death right now. It is about their lives, or if not, the death of America. I said it. It is about the lives of the people right now or the death of America, this election right here. And you cannot support people who are going to say they're going to dispose of education. They're going to dispose of health care. They're going to dispose of the things that are guaranteed by our civil liberties. And also, when I say civil liberties, I'm saying by the amendments and the Constitution, and also policies that have been in place to ensure that America is great. America has always been great and will continue to be great. It's not about making America great again. That's foolishness and that's propaganda. We got to address that right now. And so I'm saying to Democrats, when you come into locations, you need to go to the people. Let me stop. You better go to people in the communities, in the cities, in the hamlets, in the towns, in the villages, in the counties, who understand what the people need to turn out to vote. If not, you'll be a part of the downfall of America, the death of America. We're right now at the cusp. We're at the cusp of it right now on whether America will live or if America will die. And I'm talking about democracy. When I say America, I'm talking about democracy. And so again, we'll see a dictatorship happen, and then people are going to be frightened. You have not given people saying that you will give police immunity if they not engage in criminal activity to cause the loss of a life. And so we move on to this right here, Sonia Massey. No way possible that people can go and say that black lives don't matter. I'm not talking about an organization. I'm talking about a movement that has been in place since our ancestors were brought here. Sonia Massey was an absolute travesty, and that you have law enforcement folks and so-called supporters and family members of them who would excuse that. But you have other law enforcement folks who and their families who don't excuse that. And you have African people, Caucasian people, Latino people, Asian people in law enforcement who all disagree with regards to that. But the propagandists, the same ones who want to see the death of America, they are promoting that it is okay, and that's why I said to you all again, black lives do matter and shall matter as long as we are here. Those of us who have the call in within us to not let the people know. Because if you leave it to other people, guess what? It just won't be a Sonia Massey. It's going to be your son, your daughter, your husband, your wife, your mate. You will be the same ones in a situation like that. And so when we don't have any empathy, then I say to Christians, if you have no empathy with regard to that, then really you're still a heathen. You are the heathen, not the other people. You are the heathen. You are the hypocrite. You are the ones that God has told us to chastise and to go against and to fight. To Muslims, Muslims know better than that anyway. I'm going to be upfront. They know better than that. They cannot. If they were to do that, then of course you can absolute hypocrite. But Muslims know better than that. They know that when they see injustice, they sort of take action against the injustice, or they sort of speak out against the injustice. So that's why it shouldn't come into play. If you are Yehudi, if you are Jewish, you understand. You also sort of stand up against injustice and not sit idly by. If you are a traditional believer, you understand. You too sort of stand up against injustice, and you're not supposed to sit idly by. If you follow Kemetic spirituality, you understand about Mayat, the balance right there. So again, you're going to be judged on that on the day of judgment with regard to your heart, because your heart ain't going to be lighter than a feather. If you sat by and watched your brother and sister when you do the declaration of innocence, when you see the pain, because you cannot stand up there on the day of judgment on the declaration of innocence and say that you did not go and steal, you did not cause harm to your brother or sister. Guess what? You can't do that. Anyone who says that they are a free thinker, you can't say that. You are about making sure that humanity is respected if you allow and see oppression happen against other people. And any of y'all who just going to say, I'm spiritual, if you are spiritual, that means you have a framework, you have a philosophy of life that you're supposed to follow, and you can't sit idly by and watch all of that. So why did I throw all that out there? Because sometimes the worst people with regards to talking about standing up, allowing injustice to occur, are the same ones who say that they're religious. And that's why I try to give as many categories as possible. I ain't getting to, because the same applies to if you say Buddhist, Confucius, Hindu, again, all the Sabian, all the rest of them. Again, I'm not leaving anybody out. That you can't sit idly by and watch all this because your teachers tell you you're not supposed to do that. But again, some of us say we are religious, and guess what? We engage in religiosity. You're not spiritual. And so we have to stand up for this, and Black lives must matter. Don't come to me about all lives matter, because it's absolutely hypocritical if you say all lives matter and then you have black people whose lives could just be taken by law enforcement, and then you go and see and you support somebody who says, I will allow the police to have immunity. The George Floyd Policing Act should be a part of the policies of this country. Should be a part of the policies of this nation right here, on the federal level, but on the state level and also local level. It should be a part of this society right here, that when it comes to justice, justice should be that it's applicable to everyone, that everyone should be able to receive justice, not just us. And that when we talk about Caucasians in particular, just us getting the benefits and then the rest of us getting nothing with regards to that. And families seeing the pain and the anguish, and then doing the most ridiculous thing by then going to black folks who lose family members and then say to them, put a mic in their face, and then they're gonna say, I'm gonna forgive them for what they did. When we understand that comes out of captivity, that type of thinking, that type of mentality, when actually that person should be saying, I cannot forgive that person for engaging in activity to take the life of my family member when they were in a position to protect and serve. You don't do stuff like that. But don't think that I'm just saying protect and serve on that element right there. It's gonna go, because I'm gonna talk about some other stuff too. So I'm saying right now, Black lives must matter to us with regards to what is about to happen. Say to those people who don't want to go and vote that, again, what will happen is that you're going to have someone in office, because if you do not vote, that means that you are aiding and abetting the destruction of America. You're aiding and abetting the destruction of democracy. That's what you're doing. You are aiding and abetting it. And so the pain and the anguish that will flow from that, you don't need to look at somebody else. You need to turn the mirror on yourself and say, what did I do? What did I do to help bring about a better world? Did I aid and abet with regard to the destruction of the world? And that's what some of us need to assess. And I'm saying again, all lives will never matter until Black lives matter. And that, again, is not about a movement that some of y'all get caught up into, the movement, and then want to criticize or critique it. I'm not talking about a movement or be an organization. I'm talking about a movement that has been in place since our ancestors were brought here. So again, don't compartmentalize the lives of my ancestors and act like Black lives, the stuff just came in the 2020s. Black lives have mattered since the 1400s, 1500s, and 1600s. And so that's why I speak and say the things that I do and stand up for the things that I do, because I know that my life and the lives of my ancestors are important, and the future generations that they have helped, entrusted us to bring about. Because they entrusted us to bring about this right here. They didn't go and end the life. They instead, they allowed the life to come into the world. And so now they entrusted us to carry on and help the next generation. Now we come to this right here. Disturbing things that what happened, and approximately 3 weeks ago, the neighborhood called Can Park, Jackson Park, they held a session. They had a community meeting. They had, neighborhood association meeting. And in that neighborhood association meeting, then we had elected officials to come there. We had the chief of police, along with the brass for the chief of police, for the Savannah Police Department, for them also. They came there, and they heard the people go and express their thoughts with regards to the criminal activity that was in their neighborhood. This was something that was not put on by an elected official or by the police department. It was something that was done by the people. It was done by the people, not elected officials. It was done by the people. I thought that once people saw that Can Park, Jackson Park took that attitude and went with that spirit, that what will occur is that the rest of the other communities in the Savannah area in Chatham County will now realize when something happens, the same thing can occur. And so when you now have a young girl killed by her father in Tatumville, and there's no outcry, community outcry, I said to one of the residents of Canyon Park, Jackson Park, I said I thought that there would be a sign to people throughout the city of Savannah, throughout Chatham County, that they not force the issue. So elected officials now understand they got to do something. And it was just like that. Nothing, no outcry. The outcries must be made. The action must be made. Remember I told you about you can't sit idly by when you see injustice happening? That some of our spiritual foundations tell us when you see injustice, remove it with your hands, meaning that you should have to take action or speak out against it. And so what we're doing, we're just doing the weakest of all faith. The weakest of all faith is to disagree with it in your heart. So it's just in your heart. But the pain and anguish is still right there in our communities. So I'm saying to folks, like, listen, in Savannah, Georgia, in Chatham County, in the world, in the United States, throughout the state of Georgia, throughout these 50 states and territories of the United States, when you see this stuff, stand up and speak out against it. Let the people be the one to go ahead and do it. One person can change the world, and that's your job. Stop looking for somebody else to be the Messiah. You be the Messiah. So, again, we see this happening, and guess what happened in Canyon Park, Jackson Park? Someone who is not a resident of the neighborhood also was involved in the shooting this weekend. And so that's why I tell folks, I told my people, I said, listen, the chief of police gave us a telephone number, contact him and let him know. Let him know how you feel the sentiments. We got to stand up and speak out as opposed to us just sitting silent. And that goes right back to, see, some of y'all ain't know what I'm saying about our leadership, tired old leadership. And tired old leadership is not based on age. Guess what? I'm going to let y'all know this right now. I'm tired of y'all talking about young people. Young people are also oppressors. Young people are also oppressors and very strong. That they are groomed to be oppressors. Young people. I'm saying good people are the ones we need to be focused on. Good people. So again, tired old leadership. We need good leadership that can be at any age. They can be a teenager on up to an elder. So the age does not matter, but we get caught up into that right there. So I'm saying to you all, listen, I need you all to stand up. When you see this pain and anguish in your community, to stand up and speak out against it. And homicides, when we commit the homicides, it is just as brutal and just as wrong when it's done by law enforcement. I told y'all, guess what? I don't absolve anyone with regard to that. It is just as brutal and just as wrong, and it has to be addressed. I will share some information, told some information about a producer of Our Black Media, president of Our Black Media, that again, that even in Memphis, Tennessee, that you got adolescents now serving as hitmen. That means that's adults that are now guiding young people, young adolescents, to now engage in criminal activity against their own kind. That is a part of the destruction of America. That is part of the insanity that, again, other people want you to see and be about. We need us to stand up and speak out. And so that's why what's going to be happening on the 16th of August at 6 p.m. on Incarceration to Incorporation, that what the people now witness and see, they're going to at least hear a conversation regarding a state of emergency. It is a state of emergency across this entire country with regard to our young people being misled and misguided to lead to the further destruction of democracy and of our lives. And again, when we sit idly by, that's what's happening. We can no longer sit idly by when we see this happening. And that, again, 6 p.m., you're going to see more information with regards to that. And as I shared with y'all, there's a lot I want to say, but this is some of the important things I need to get out right now because we're going to still be discussing some of it. But again, 6 p.m., August 16th, on Incarceration and Incorporation, that's going to be the state of emergency. That I'm just throwing it out there. It's just throwing it out there. That's the tidbits with regard to that. Be on the lookout for further information with regard to that. And again, homicide, the destruction of us, and it's saving our teens. It's about that, saving our teens. But we got to save our people in general. And that I had to pay homage and honor to someone, and that is the Oba, King Ade. King Ade. Some of y'all who know King Ade, the Oba of Oyetunji, he has not joined the ancestral realm. And some of y'all probably surprised about that. He has joined the ancestral realm because homicide. He was killed by someone close to him. And and some going to attribute with regards to mental health. But I'm like saying we can't even excuse that. And as I share with folks that now, when I bring this up, that will Oyetunji, the Yoruba village, what people don't understand, and when this person said to me that they should not put the person in prison, I said, listen, that's the state got that now. The state has that right now. The state. So your say has nothing to do with it anymore. The state now will be there. The state is going to come in there. The state will be there. The state. Yes. And as I told folks, I say this becomes a part of a pattern that we have seen over time with unhealthy people that we allow in our environments. Now, I understand about mental health because I dealt with mental health people. I dealt with these people, and I mean, not these people, but folks who've had mental health issues. That's the thing. So I understand that. So guess what? I'm not desensitized to that. I understand that. And that's why I'm going to say that at least the ones who have come to me have gotten the help. But it's the ones out there who we don't, well, excuse me, and I'm back up, who don't go get the help, who know they need to get the help, who choose not to get the help. And that's not making an excuse for those people right there, because there are others out there who don't know it, and I understand. And those are the ones I can work with and make sure. But there's the others out there who are sick individuals, and they know they are sick, and they choose not to do it. So I'm not saying these people don't know it. I'm talking these ones who are willfully in the stuff that they engage in, they do to people, the type of pain that they inflict on people. Yes, they are narcissistic, some of them, and some of them are psychotic, and some of them are also, basically serial killers. And that they do that. And so you see that in Memphis, you see that in other locations, you see that around, that these serial killers are not training other people to go and do that. But then when it comes down to it, they'll make excuses for themselves and protect themselves. And again, guess what? We're left holding the bag. And we cannot make excuses for this right here and that. But again, we have sick people coming around us that some of y'all know are sick, but you never address it. You never had them address it. And you just let it happen. And then we lose our best and our brightest. And then that means others got to now step up. But sometimes they got to go through this muddle, this muck. And so we are up on our time. Like I said, it was a lot that I wanted to get into. King Ade, we say appreciate what you have said, the words you've said to us. And this has been Run Tell That. And check out all the shows on Our Black Media. Support our sponsors, Davis Johnson Bozeman Law Firm, offices in Savannah, Atlanta, and Statesboro. Kim's Cafe, 714 MLK Jr. Boulevard. A slamming seafood gumby they got. Chef Food and Gas on Styles and Gwinnett Streets in Savannah, Georgia. Don't ride by, stop by, and then go right over there to One Price Cleaners, located in the Farmers Market in Garden City, Georgia. One Price Cleaners. We need to be clean right now. We need to be clean physically and mentally and spiritually. This is Run Tell That. Check out all the shows on Our Black Media. We signing out. We see y'all next week. We got some guests next week. Peace and blessings.